Jewish synagogue, Temple Beth Israel. Davidson publicly attacked Mississippi's White Knights of the Ku Klux Klan, described by the FBI as the most violent right-wing terrorist organization in the United States. He denounced its members, calling them maniacs. He also launched a fundraising drive that raised $80,000 in reward money for information leading to the arrest and conviction of those responsible for the Temple bombing. Even though I wasn't an official member of the Mississippi Klan, I might as well have been. I had good friends who were, and I shared their views and concerns. Davidson's denunciation infuriated all of us. Such a public attack and aggressive action against the Klan would have been sufficient provocation for a violent response. But other, more practical considerations had also influenced the decision to bomb his house and my readiness to be a part of the plot. Since mid-January that year, Klansmen in Meridian had conducted a reign of terror that garnered attention all the way to Washington, D.C. They had firebombed or burned 8 black churches and 3 homes, 2 black families and 1 white family. This was part of a larger terror campaign that had been going on for several months in Mississippi. FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover had ordered his organization to put a stop to it. A large number of federal agents were at work in Mississippi, assisted by state and local law enforcement agencies. Their initial efforts focused chiefly on Klansman brothers Wayne and Raymond Roberts. Wayne had been recently convicted in the murders of James Earl Chaney, Andrew Goodman, and Michael Schwerner, 3 civil rights workers who had been abducted in Philadelphia, Mississippi in 1964. Even though Wayne was identified as the triggerman in those crimes, he was free on bond while his case was on appeal. The Roberts brothers had been able to handle the pressure until the bombing of Temple Beth Israel and the national outcry following the Meyer-Davidson news coverage. At that point, the Mississippi Public Safety Commissioner sent a special group of state investigators known as the Goon Squad to Meridian to assist local police in pressuring the 2 men into cooperating. In an effort to cause them either to talk or make a mistake, this special squad followed them everywhere, watching their homes around the clock, visiting their workplaces, and, in an interesting role reversal, quietly threatening the Klansmen's lives. The pressure soon took its toll. In mid-June, Raymond Roberts went to Jackson several times to ask one of my friends for help. About a week later, my friend traveled to Meridian for further discussions with both Raymond and Wayne. They decided that something had to be done to relieve the pressure from law enforcement, and soon. They concluded the best thing would be yet another major act of violence against Jews, one consistent with the ongoing campaign of terror to make the act appear to be the work of those who bombed the synagogue. This time, however, the Roberts brothers, knowing in advance of the bombing, would have an airtight alibi, being seen publicly elsewhere with many witnesses. In theory, the focus of the investigation and the harassment would shift away from them. Though I was not in Mississippi while these discussions were taking place, the choice of Meyer-Davidson as the target was at least partly my doing. After his public comments about the Temple Beth Israel bombing, I had mentioned to other Klansmen that Meyer-Davidson, because of his profile, would be a good target for some future operation. I saw it as a good opportunity to demonstrate what could happen to those who brazenly attacked the Klan, and it would also more generally send a message to Jews, who we believe were behind the civil rights movement. When I returned to the state and learned of the pressure being applied to the Roberts brothers, I decided to be one of the 2 bombers for this attack, which was planned for a few days later at the end of June. Time was of the essence, the Roberts brothers said, because a grand jury was meeting soon and would probably indict them. But my prospective partner in the operation was a well-known Klansman, and whenever a major act of racial violence occurred, the FBI went straight to his house to see if he was home. To avoid compromising the operation and to relieve some of the pressure on him, at the last minute I suggested that he not go. That way he, like the Roberts brothers, would have an alibi when the bomb exploded and could greet the FBI.